but Bharti Airtel has come out with its numbers, and this time around we are seeing the revenue as well as the EBITDA is marginally lower than what the street was estimating, while the profit has come in higher to the estimates of ET now. Talking about profit, the company reported a net profit of 3,006 crores, and that's a jump from 1,588 crores, a jump of 89% on a sequential basis, while the margins are almost seen flat on a consolidated basis with 51.9%. The revenue is in line to the expectation, but talking about the ARPU, that has come in at 193 odd levels, and that's actually below what the street was penciling in. Let's get in more finer details of what to make out of the numbers for Bharti Airtel, and Somit Sarkar is joining us onto the phone line. Hi Somit, a very good afternoon. Tell us with your first take on Bharti Airtel.
Well, for the fourth quarter, if you see the numbers are marginally below on the revenue and the EBITDA front as the consolidated numbers if you're talking about. And if you see segment-wise, the miss has marginally been led by the India mobile business. Analysts are expecting the India mobile business number to be around 19,650 crore rupees, but the company has reported a revenue of only 19,550. So 100 crore miss has come in from the India mobile business. Now, if you see the growth on a sequential basis that the India mobile business has reported as the lowest in at least the last 10 quarters. Now, this India mobile business revenue growth has been lower than what the street was expecting because the ARPU number has come at 193 rupees, and this are going ahead with a number of close to 196, but this number has been literally flat compared to what it was in the previous quarter at 193 rupees. So this will be because the entire benefit of the hike in the minimum recharge plans that the company had taken in the fourth quarter has not been realized, and that's the reason this miss would have come in the fourth quarter. Apart from this, if you see the broadband business and the enterprise business, the numbers are pretty much in line with what the street was expecting, and robust growth has been recorded by the company in both the fronts. DTH business, as expected, there has been a decline on a sequential basis of around 1.5%, but the number is pretty much in line with what the street was expecting. So, overall, if you see the numbers are marginally below than what the street was expecting, and this is largely led by the India mobile.
Okay, the disappointment largely led by the India mobile business. Thank you so much, Somit, for that. But on to the first take, we also have the analyst, Mr. Naveen Kulkarni of Axis Securities, joining us onto the show. Hi, very good afternoon, Naveen. Help us with your first take on Bharti Airtel. And like Somit was highlighting, that the disappointment this time around versus the ET now estimates has largely been led by the India mobile customer business. So how do you see that? And despite the fact that there has been a disappointment onto the ARPU front, so are you also spotting a disappointment there?
Yeah, so I would say that overall the numbers are slightly lower than what we were expecting, right? So the ARPU number is flattish on a QOQ basis. Still, of course, there is a YY growth which was expected, but the flattish ARPU number is a slight disappointment. But also we have to remember that this quarter, the Q4 quarter is a quarter where the number of days are lesser than Q3. So of course there could be some bit of I would say that impact of that happening. But overall, I would say that this is a marginal disappointment. I would not be very disappointed with the numbers, but nonetheless, I would say that there is a slight miss in the numbers.
Is that what you are spotting? But what we understand that Naveen, there has been a hike in the minimum recharge plan by Bharti Airtel. So going ahead, do you see any scope of recovery in the ARPUs of the company? Where do you see the management commentary will be headed to? Because given the landscape of the telecom industry with so much competition building up, with the hike, will there be any more headroom to hike the prices in order to cater with the competition as well?
Yeah, so clearly the ARPUs have to move up, right? So we are at 193 rupees for the market leader in ARPU, right? So from that perspective, and this is the ARPU which existed back in 2013-14 kind of a time frame, right? So where the ARPUs are, they have been flattish for more than a decade now. So from that perspective, where the customer is getting a much higher value in terms of services, now customers are also subscribers are also enjoying 5G services, which of course is a very data intensive project for Airtel, right? So ARPUs definitely have to go up because there is a significant improvement in the value which is provided to the customer, and of course the cost structure has gone up than what it was let's say 10 years back. So from that perspective, the only way the industry can continue to thrive and continue to do capex is by improving the ARPUs. Otherwise, there will not be sufficient free cash flows for the business to invest in and provide quality of services which exist today in the future.
Okay, but Naveen, just a last question to you. But before that, there's one more announcement where Airtel has announced a dividend of rupees 4, which is the highest ever since the listing of the company. So, good dividend amount being given to all those shareholders. But with this, Naveen, let's also talk about the expected share price movement tomorrow, because we are spotting a marginal disappointment onto the number front. But on the other hand, you are pointing out that ARPUs are expected to improve from here on given the landscape of the industry. So, how do you see the stock reacting tomorrow, and how should the investors position themselves?
Yeah. So tomorrow, most likely the stock price reaction could be slight negative. So we could see a couple of percentage points correction in the stock price. But I think that's where more or less I think it should stabilize very soon, maybe at around 750 levels where it should stabilize. But I don't see a huge cut in terms of earnings estimates for FY24 and FY25 because the ARPU is likely to go up, and ARPU typically goes up as a step function than actually going up on a sequential basis in every quarter or consistently, right? So I would say that chances of significant cut in earnings estimates is limited at this point in time, and probably some bit of correction is likely that we could see tomorrow.
Okay, with this, we'll let you go on that, Naveen. Thank you so much for joining us today on Easy Now. So that was the first take on Bharti Airtel numbers, a marginally below number when it comes to the revenue as well as EBITDA, a disappointment onto the ARPU front, but the profit has outperformed the street expectation with over 3,000 crores in the bottom line being reported by the company, and a good dividend announcement, highest ever since listing of rupees 4. Well, let's move on and